Guys, hey guys, so this is Joel, and I'm going to walk you through some things here in Ableton Live, and say what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you when you download from Multitracks.com, you get all the stems for the song that you're about to do, okay? And this one, you can see I've actually just created Multitracks demo. I forgot my external hard drive at my office, so I don't have any of the original files. All I have are the breakdown files, and I use my laptop here for playback on Sunday morning. So I just dropped in a bunch of like file names. Come to the Water, This is Amazing Grace, Whom Shall I Fear, and Cornerstone. So I've pretended that the first track is the click, the second is the guide, third is drums, fourth is percussion, and I'm just going to walk you from the very beginning what I do to set it up for playback for Sunday when you have multiple songs in a set and you don't want to import another song starting here and moving forward. That can get really confusing, and it's just really not user friendly. So the only drawback to doing it this way, to exporting all of this audio down to one file, is your rehearsal time can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you have to start, most of the time you'll probably just start back from the very beginning of the song and just do full run-throughs of the song. And by the way, I actually advise you to do that because I used to practice just portions of a song, and it actually there are times to do that, but I have found with our worship band and even with our orchestra that it's better to get a whole flow of the song 3 times total than to just work on one part 4 times or something like that. So I encourage you to consider in your rehearsal time going through the whole song. But this makes it, the way that I'm going to show you, makes it very convenient to playback backing tracks for songs, and then you can move into the next. There's also one other drawback. The way that I run things, it's a little bit harder to have a fade from one song to the next. If you want to get into fades, I would suggest you try getting your keyboardist to play some pads from this key and hopefully holding over into a key that's not too far away for whatever song you're doing next. That's a great way to do the transition live rather than trying to get someone else to do all this funky, crazy fading work between one song and another within Ableton. And plus, that gives you a little bit more freedom in your worship time to take a moment to pray if you didn't have that in your plan in the first place, or to say some scripture or something. So I like this way. It works for me. I hope this is helpful for you if you want to try this as well. Okay, so here we go. So you've imported it. You just open it up, and you're going to have all these other windows open. I usually close that so I can see most of this. I don't have my ins and outs on. I've got record and I've got the mixer, all that kind of stuff, or return tracks in the mixer. Showing doesn't really matter. Over here, I always have my click. I always have my guide on. I usually take drums off. We've got a drummer, and I'll take percussion off. But for now, just so that, well, even if I played it back, it would sound terrible because these are like individual songs. They're going to sound really horrible. So I'm going to show you what I do to group, to send stuff. I pan click and guide to the left, and I'll pan drums and percussion to the right. Now, it's really important, if what I did for drums and percussion, now I'm just going to hit tab and take us to the arrangement view. This is the session view. Now I'm going to go into the arrangement view, okay? If what I did is I group these together by hitting Command G, okay? Now anything I do to this group heading, it will affect drums and percussion. So I'm going to pan both of those. I'm going to pan this one to the right. It's going to affect both of these. All right, and then I'm going to hit tab one more time to take us back to the session view to show you something. Now, keep in mind, within this group here, which I will relabel by hitting Command R or rename, I'll just call this the TRX for tracks. Okay. if I pan this to the right, I'm only going to be getting the sound that's on the right side of the stereo track. And same thing here. I'm only going to be getting the right side of the sound. And a lot of times for like electric guitarists and strings, if you only take one side of the stereo sound, it's going to sound pretty crappy, actually. Well, it'll sound okay, but you won't get the full smoothness of the sound. So you want to get both of these in and kind of like meshed together and then panned to the right. Okay, because you're technically sending a mono signal through the right now, since you're panned to the right. You're going to be sending out of your computer on the right side. But you want to send all the information in each of the tracks. So there's a way to do this, and it's very important, okay? You come over here to Audio Effects, okay? And you're going to open up Utility, and then you're going to come down here to Mono. And you're just going to drag that to your group, okay? You can drag it anywhere in here. And now since it's hitting this group, since you can see it down here, I don't know what that... Anyways, since it's in here, it's going to affect all of these, okay? So, same thing here. I'm going to do. Oh, you know, I haven't grouped these yet. Again, Command G. Okay, and we'll just call this. Well, anyways, this doesn't really matter as much. I mean, but I like to just keep it very, very organized. I only have two groups, left and right. Okay. So here's click and guide. I'm going to go ahead and take mono. I might as well go ahead and put it on there just so that her voice, when she says 1, 2, 3, sounds very clear and very accurate. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go back into my arrangement view. Or I'm sorry, yeah, my arrangement view. Okay, that's right. I get them mixed up all the time. All right, now I'm gonna choose whichever ones I want, which ones I don't. Here, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave these on just for your sake, just in case you've got them. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes at the beginning, she'll say this. She'll say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you guys start. But I don't really like all of this information here at the beginning. So what I will do is I will bring this straight up now. Just keep in mind that this is not. I got to bring it in closer to try to get that back to the beginning of the actual note here. Okay. Now none of these other songs, they're all different. So I'm just gonna drag those and delete them. Okay. And up here you'll actually have seen stuff like Ad Locator, intro. You'll see like right here. Whoops. Sorry. Boy, that startled me. Where's that coming from? That was odd. Okay. Anyways, I right click and there you'll see. Okay, like verse 1. Okay, so you want to keep these, but say you want the song start time to start right here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do set song start time here. So, you know, if you come back here and you want to start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so now what you're going to do is I'm going to scroll. I'm going to pull back out. Okay, and rather than just doing Command A or hitting this and then Command A, see how everything is green. I'm selecting everything, including the stuff here that I didn't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select this, and then I'll scroll all the way down to the very last one. Shift, click. Now look, it has it has selected all that I want to export. Okay, this is very important. And then what I'm going to do, there are a couple ways to export the audio. You can come up here, and you can hit Export Audio and Video, or as you can see, you can hit Shift Command R. I always use Shift Command R because I am a nut about trying to save time in my workflow. File type, I like to do WAV. It's just you've got two options, and I usually move the bit depth to 24. I guess some people say you could do 32. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, so I just do 24 because it's higher than 16. Okay, so I'm gonna hit OK. I don't usually normalize. Okay. Now, just so that you know, I've been thinking about this as well. It would be okay for me to this first time I'm going to unmute the guide. Okay. And now I'm going to export with just the click. So I've got Shift, Command, R. Will take me back to this, okay? And I'm going to hit OK. It's going to tell me where I want it. I put everything in songs. Now, it's actually on my external hard drive. You don't see hardly any of the songs that we do. But anyways, Multitracks Demo 1, and this say it's in B flat. Okay, now I would say click only. So I'm going to export that. It's going to sound like junk. Excuse me. And my Mac is getting a little bit old, so it's working pretty hard. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unclick the click track, and I'm going to go ahead and arm the guide. Shift Command R, same thing, just hit OK. Go all the way to the end, and this is guide, whatever, only, guide, whatever. Do the same thing. The example file is going to be really crappy, and I'm sorry about that, but it's okay. just do what I'm doing. Don't listen to the end result. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a new set just to start from scratch to show you what I do. So Command N for new. I don't need to save this. It's a piece of junk, so who cares? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. Here's my new one. I'm going to go ahead and save this one. I'm going to say CDBC Ableton live set. We'll just call that. I'm going to call this a project because it's. I'm going to actually use this folder to have all of my samples and to within that create all the new files for each Sunday. Okay, so here we go. I actually have a little fast button here. You can add your folders here just to take a look. Now, I had a problem with this earlier. It's not actually seeing it right now. I actually have to go into my file. Multitracks, songs. Hold on a second. Huh. I don't know what I did here. I don't know where it is. Oh, I love that. Alright, I'll be right back.